Andre, can you unlock this car with this tool in under a minute?
I could.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Welcome to Car Key Solutions. Here we have amazing story, real life experiences with car keys, vehicle security and much more. Hello again from the workshop where today we've got Andre.
Nice to see you, man. You're right.
One of our experienced auto locksmith. And the topic today is I am an auto locksmith.
An auto locksmith.
Yes.
Not your regular locksmith, which an auto locksmith comes with a different baggage, of knowledge from the regular locksmith. So an auto locksmith, besides the mechanical part of locksmithing, which is a lot similar with the domestic locksmiths. We also come with a baggage of knowledge about electronics. There's a lot of electronics involved in auto locksmiths.
Especially nowadays, because if you think about it, years ago, where the car were much simpler.
Pretty much the same. A car lock looked more or less the same as a house lock.
Yes.
Or as a domestic.
They follow same principle.
They follow the same principles. But nowadays, let's say after years 2000 maybe, all cars involve a lot of electronics into immobilizing a car. It's not just your regular woofers and your regular lock. It also involves a lot of electronics into
the immobilizing side, into the central locking, into the keyless features.
Exactly, there's loads of electronics involved in immobilizing a car now.
And they vary very, very much, as we know, from a car to another. Now, training, because probably we'll have many viewers liking the profession, but there's not a school to train as an auto locksmith, is it?
That's a very good question. I get this asked a lot as well from my customers and on a daily basis, customers, friends. I get this asked a lot. Training, there's no school for this. The best training you'll get is to start the job itself. You will get there are some courses here and there that might learn you the very basics of it. Maybe the tool, they might learn you the tools and some of the tools, because not all the courses will learn you all the tools used. But the best way to learn this is by starting the job. Like, I've been with you for like 8 years maybe, and I'm still learning.
Exactly.
So
this is I want to touch base exactly. So training when it comes to.
I'm still learning. Maybe I do handle very well some tasks. But then technology comes and changes everything. And then we have to go back to square one, go back to the boarding.
So every year, every month, we can see cars that we have not seen before. And
and they use different systems and different procedures, exactly. So training, I could say you'll be training your whole life.
Yeah.
You're working with cars for much longer time than me, and I still.
It's a never-ending game. It's a never-ending game. You never have time to get bored in the industry.
Absolutely.
And it comes with some challenges.
Absolutely.
Head scratching sometimes, isn't it? It's not always.
Yeah, remember the jobs we spend 5, 6, 7 hours just to learn a small thing. So.
And how many times? Remember the nights that we spent.
My God, sleeping
we had
at 5 o'clock in the morning.
We had several nights. Do you remember what was one of them? It was an old Q7, but it was years ago. To find the procedure.
Remember the Beamer took us 3 days. The BMW in near the airport. Took us 3 days to finish it.
It was right at the beginning when the technology, now a BMW.
And no one knew how to do it, so we had to figure it out ourselves.
Yes. I mean, and this is just an example because it happens so often. Because
it still happens now. Okay, it doesn't happen with the older cars, which we already been several times.
Yeah, but we always new models. Obviously now.
But new cars, they all come with different
challenges. Because again, there's not school for that. There's no repair manual for being an auto locksmith. There are tools developed separately, but
all this will be learned on the job.
On the job.
Because, for example, let's say you get some new BMWs, for example, yeah, no one's going to give you the car to learn on it, yeah? You will have to go in the job, and when the job comes, keep your eyes open, keep your mind sharp, and learn the car.
Because some manufacturers of equipment, they'll build the equipment, but then it's also going to be the element of stripping the vehicle to access
yes,
controlling.
absolutely. The basics will be the same. Yeah,
exactly.
If you know the basics, they will be the same in pretty much the same car, the old cars. But there will be details that they have to be adjusted and adapted to a job.
Yeah, without a doubt. Has there ever been a situation where you felt you're bored? I mean, listen, every job comes with its challenges. Yeah, we know that. But being bored from a point of view that you feel, oh, every day is the same.
Well, I'll be honest with that. Maybe there are days, but not weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe you will have days where you do the same car. You will have, but never. I think we can easily say a week is not the same. Days maybe. Days, we've been in the industry for quite a while, so we might have days the same. But I'm sure we never have the same weeks.
The point that I want to raise,
even if I don't have issues, one of my colleagues will have. And the team that we have at Car Key Solutions is supporting each other. So, as I said, even if I don't have a problem, one of my colleagues will have, and we then all jump there.
It might be something new that you haven't came across. So always something new is going on.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is what keeps us going, I think.
Because it's also challenging. It's also always nice to know everything inside out, but then at some point might become too boring, if you know.
But technology will never let us be bored.
We'll never be in a situation because it's so.
If we don't have a problem in the Car Key Solutions, we'll have in OGS. If it's not in OGS,
and it's such a fast pace that everything moves, isn't it? Because it's hard to.
Absolutely.
Because we also not specializing just on one car.
No, we do all cars.
Exactly.
So it's easier to say we do all of them, and maybe we will have some hiccups here and there, instead of saying we're not doing all of cars. We do all of them.
Yeah. So imagine every year, each manufacturer, they take out a few models. So you have to add them all to the list. They have to. It all is. When it comes to tools.
We use a lot of tools. So our vans are, to be equipped to be able to say we're doing all cars, our vans are fully equipped with a lot of tools that allow us to program keys for any car. So let's say we don't have a perfect tool, one tool for everything. There's no such thing on the market. Yeah. So we've got several tools that we use
cover different vehicles.
To cover different brands, models. Sometimes we have 2 tools for the same brand but different models.
Yeah.
So
that's when it comes to electronic equipment. What about to mechanics?
So about the mechanics, so we can't jump over the mechanic side of the job. Yeah, it's very important that we learn the mechanic bit, which is right at the beginning. So for us as auto locksmiths, it's very important to know how to lockpick.
What does it mean?
Lockpick means that we use
one of those tools.
One of these tools. Let's say, for example, for this car that we have here, it's a Ford. It's a HU101. It's called the Lishi tool. There you go. It's called the Lishi tool. This will help us open the car and also read the measurements inside the door barrel that will allow us to cut a new key for it.
Okay, so the lock give you the code to which you're gonna cut a key.
For which we're gonna cut a key. It's very important that we master this, because let's say
you've got all the equipment.
Everything, absolutely.
But you can't get inside the car.
You have your van parked next to a car.
Yeah.
You have everything you need, but if you don't know how to master this, everything is going to be useless. So you can have all the electronics knowledge in the world. If you don't learn to master this tool,
So obviously,
it's going to be useless.
To simply get inside the vehicle.
So it's absolutely, it's very important for an auto locksmith first to learn the mechanic side of the job, which is the older bit. Like this, there's the same principle with locks in 20, 30 years ago. But if you don't know this, if you won't be able to get inside the car and also cut a key, cut a blade for the ignition to be turned,
you won't be able to do that.
You can't go ahead and program the key unless you know the mechanics side.
I mean, do you come from an automotive background?
Not really.
Not really. And how difficult was for you to understand this?
Well, it took me a while. Took me a while. First of all, you need to learn to speak the same language. That's how I like to say. I barely knew what woofers means.
Okay.
I barely knew what's
lots of new things at the beginning.
Picking, I was thinking I'm gonna pick locks.
You understand? Because I know how comprehensive. How were the first few days? Because it's so much information comes to you all at once.
It was overwhelming. I don't know if you remember my first period. I was like,
oh my God,
that's a lot. That's a lot. But you also know I'm stubborn.
Yeah.
So this
I can vouch for that.
You also know I'm stubborn. So when I felt a bit overwhelmed, this gave me a bit more energy to carry on. And at some point, you will.
Everything starts to align.
Absolutely. Everything starts to feel slightly easier to look for. Even if you don't know it, at least you speak the same language with one of your colleagues, and you'll get there. Eventually you'll get there.
What are the jobs that an auto locksmith do? So, because auto locksmith is an umbrella. It's an umbrella that a lot of services can fall under. So it's not just as it is all days. Locksmith is doing a lock. Even nowadays, locksmith, they do electronics lock and so on. But
yeah, even domestic now.
Exactly.
Electronics went a bit into the domestic.
But in the auto locksmith, because it's not just cutting and programming a key. It's much more than that. Give us an example of some of the services that you do on the road.
Okay, so let's say, I think mainly we're doing lost key situations.
Yeah.
Mainly we do lost key situations. But as technology evolves, we also do lots of stuff, like programming modules which are not related, for example, they're not related to keys, but they are related to the programming side of
the vehicle and then starting of the vehicle. But what I want to touch base more of the mechanics that you do, because you don't just cut the key, you recode barrels, you repair ignitions, replace steering blocks.
They're still related to keys, but let's say that they are kind of diversified.
Yeah, that's a second. The way that I like to look at it is also Locksmith is an umbrella and covers all those services. Yeah, from what we know, which is a basic key replacement, spare key, but then to replace the lock or recode the lock in case the keys are stolen or
lost.
Let's
say, for example, your keys are stolen. Yeah. So as I said, main thing. Let's say it's lost key situations, but there are some cases where we go to a lost key situation, but we also have to recode the locks. So all the barrels, like the door barrel, the ignition, and maybe the boot or whatever the car has, we will have to recode them. Recoding means we strip the barrel apart. All the pieces will be on our table, and we recode it so it's got a different combination of. So the waffles will be in a different combination. This means the old key, whoever has the old key,
no longer
will not be able to access the car in any way. So this is
the procedure to be done to fully restore the security on a vehicle.
That's the best way. I always recommend this to customers that lost the key in, let's say, a public place, or they're not sure where they lost it, because this is where it becomes a bit blurry when you're not sure if it's been stolen or it's been lost somewhere in a park or something. I always recommend the customers to
fully restore the security,
fully protect his car.
Apart of that, I know that also happen often. Lock repairs.
Also repairing from using it daily.
They wear out.
An ignition wears out. Let's give an example about the delivery drivers.
Yeah.
Delivery
Imagine
drivers.
how many times
They start their car hundreds of times a day.
Exactly. Is wear. Yeah.
This becomes, because of the wear and tear, it will become impossible to turn the ignition, for example, at some point. Or another example of people that have their remotes broken. Let's say the remotes don't work, even maybe the battery died, or the remote started to fail, and they use the door barrel on a daily basis. That, from my point of view, that was not designed from the beginning. It wasn't designed to be used daily.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was designed to be used
as
in
an emergency. Yeah.
Using it daily, at some point, the parts inside, they will fail.
They're gonna break down.
So we do lots of that as well. Yeah.
And also, same in the ignition repair area. We know we do a lot of electronic ignition repairs.
Absolutely. Let's say, for example, Mercedes, they always had an electronic kind of ignition. It's nothing mechanic in there. Maybe just some pieces of plastic here and there, but mostly it's like a computer. I think a Mercedes ignition, it's like an old Pentium 4 or something, or maybe even better than that.
But they do wear out, they do fail.
At some point, they do fail, and they do need repairs as well. Yeah.
Yes, and that's another example. So, auto locksmith, but electronic side of it.
Yeah, it's. I think this is what makes this job
interesting.
So interesting, because you're not gonna do the. If we have to come back a bit to what you said before, actually you don't do the same thing every day, because one job, you might have one job that you do it 100 times, and you do it always the same. The 101 time you have to do it in a different way, because that's the way that you knew, it's useless.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
I mean, we've seen whatever something, it's slightly different, although it's same car, same year, something is going to be different.
Something's going to be different.
Let's talk some nice experiences on the road that you have. So, I mean, let's say nice or difficult, something.
Nice experience on the road. Well, I think
challenging. Huh?
Challenging.
Yeah, that BMW was a good one. That it took us a lot of time to do. But
yeah, our first FEM module. Yeah,
that
was
FEM,
a bit.
FEM, yeah.
I also had another one in Oxford, which I remember. I got home at 5 o'clock in the morning.
What was it?
It was a 3 Series, a CAS unit, which sometimes these modules fail, and sometimes they fail while we're doing the programming. And that's the most challenging, because you can't leave a non-starting car with the customer, so you have to leave the car up and running. So I remember I had some issues with programming.
During the programming?
During the programming, something happened. I think the internet or the power.
Yeah, I mean,
something
nowadays
happened there. I can't remember exactly. I think it was the power, to be honest.
Yeah.
I had some issues with the power, and it kind of bricked the module. So it took me about 6 hours to
reflash it,
and put it back on the road. That was a challenge.
Those are the days where I was thinking of auto locksmith.
Yeah, this is the, I couldn't say bad side, but this is the challenging side. So if you're not up for it, you will have days maybe when you feel your brain is going to explode. But what's nice about our organization is that we have support. So,
which is crucial.
Absolutely. If no one's going to do the job for you, but you'll always have someone to call. You'll always have someone to give you at least an insight or a direction towards where to go, and then the car.
For instance, if you do just let's say a Ford Fiesta every day, you would know it inside out. But with the amount of cars, like we said earlier, and jobs is very difficult, and always is going to be something new. Always is very important.
Absolutely. I think it's good. I mean, it's good to always change. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Especially in the immobilizing part of the vehicle. Nowadays, car thieves are everywhere. So if they study a car, they look for its weaknesses, if I can say like this, they will find it. So it's always good to come with new solutions and with new ways of immobilizing the
Absolutely. This was another question that I want to ask you, you know, because there are probably many advices for the vehicle owners when it comes to security, because security nowadays is a big problem on the vehicles.
Yeah.
There's obviously, it's not just cars, even vans. So there's a lot of things, isn't it, that they can. And there's need for that. I mean, also this still somehow follows under the same umbrella of also Locksmith, isn't it?
It is actually when
vehicle security.
We're good in. Well, we mainly do lost kind of things, but we're also good in immobilizing a car. And if you don't keep up with this, you'll be left behind at some point.
No, absolutely. Yes. Also, Locksmith obviously focus a lot also on the electronics of the car, like you said earlier. And vehicle security still follows of the umbrella of I am an auto locksmith.
And as an auto locksmith, I can't stress enough about the Ghost Immobilizer.
Yeah, that's a brilliant product.
I mean, in the last few years, it kind of revolutionized the way a car is being immobilized. So your yellow steering lock, that's got no effect. Maybe a bit of, it will scare them maybe a bit as a visual deterrent. But
it doesn't stand.
It won't stop them.
No, I really love that product. I mean, I have quite a few videos.
Oh my God.
And the technology behind that is
us being behind Ghost and knowing
exactly
the technology involved, it's like, wow, it's a very secure way to protect
and obviously there's others for vans and large, but it's so much. But the only reason that I want to bring it in discussion is because it still follows of the same umbrella for not because those are services provided by the auto locksmith. Because you know, many times people, what is an auto locksmith? What does it do? Well,
it does a lot.
Does a lot.
Does a lot, including these extra immobilizers on the vehicle.
Van security alarms and so on. I'm pretty certain, because we get this question asked a lot, what advice you would give to someone that wants to become an auto locksmith?
Just start. Just start doing it. Start doing it. It's going to be hard at the beginning. As we said earlier,
what do you need? What do you need? Because, you know, like in anything, you should have some certain skills or a passion. What do you need to be in this industry? Because obviously with all that is nice, seeing always new cars, new jobs, you have to have something for this job. So
I'm not sure if I'm in a position to give advices, but I'll say what brought me into this. I like working with cars.
Exactly.
I like working with cars, and then when I first met you 8 years ago, I saw some very experienced people that I knew I have things to learn from, and that's what brought me in.
It's a passion for cars.
It's the passion for cars. I didn't knew anything about.
You didn't have anything
especially about car locks and lock picking tools and all that. I had no idea about them. But I had a passion for the cars, and I enjoy working with them. I feel a bit, I don't know what's the word. When I finish a job, obviously there's the financial side of it, which gets us going, but also the customer.
The feeling.
When the customer, it's a great feeling when you see a customer happy about the job you did.
And then you've changed the situation.
Absolutely.
From a state to a totally different
I live this feeling every day, at least 5-6 times a day.
Yeah. From a stranded customer, from a locked car or immobilized car to
from a non-starting to a starting one.
So this is.
And also, I mean, lately I do this in like 20 minutes, and people are quite surprised about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get there, you park your van in 20 minutes. There you go, you have your key.
But this is nice because we have that example when we say 20 minutes and 2 hours
Yes,
later.
we go back to what we were talking, yeah?
Yeah.
The 101 car, when you say, no worries, I'll be done in 20 minutes, half an hour,
Yeah.
and then 5 hours later, I'm still working on it.
Well, I think we have some good insights. Would you like to demonstrate a lock?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Can we put a timer on?
Let's try.
Let's try.
Let's try. Let's make it a bit more.
Have we checked this car before? Is it working?
We'll see now.
Okay, we're gonna put a timer on. So this is how. Is this a pretty common lock? Can you talk?
It is, yeah, it is. Fords, they use the same lock until 2000, I think 17 or something like that.
And those cars, if they have.
And even the new lock, it's quite similar. It's a bit different, but it's quite similar. Boom.
Top 48, 45.
Ah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Come on, this should have been 30 seconds. Yeah, well, some of them will be slightly higher in time than others.
Yeah, well,
But this was an easy one, to be honest. Yeah.
all depends of wearing, because I suppose they know they also.
It also so like a barrel that you think it's easy, you do every day, let's say once a day, years, you'll think it's easy. You will then have the challenge of a worn out one, and this is where your locksmith knowledge
Skills,
is being
experience.
put to test. It's being put to test because you'll have there's a lot of feeling in there. So like you have to feel some springs, you have to feel some.
Have to understand what is behind the.
Yeah,
because
obviously some like I repair them as well. So I know exactly how it looks on bench, stripped apart. I know exactly how it works when I put the leash in.
Exactly. So that's why you can correlate both.
Absolutely. So it doesn't matter if it's worn out. At least I can get to a decision quicker, because there might be some challenges where I can't fix them.
Yeah.
But having all this knowledge
yeah.
having all this knowledge in the back, I had this the other day with an Audi A3. The door barrel was spinning, but it wasn't opening. So because I know there is a link between the door barrel and the central locking,
you know
that's so there's no point in insisting or staying too much into this.
There's nothing that you can
do. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So this gains me a lot of time as well in my daily routine.
Yeah, to understand. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's constant learning, constant developing.
Absolutely.
And then obviously, eventually, all these. Well, I think we have covered quite a bit of content about.
We did. I really enjoyed this conversation. We should do this more often, George.
About I'm a locksmith, and hopefully we give to our viewers a bit of insight to what it means being.
Yeah, we do hope you find this useful, and we'll give you a bit more. Would widen your views about an auto locksmith.
Do you like what you see? You want to see more? Subscribe to our channel for more content.